everyone. I just wanted to hop on while I was working on this toolbox and just go through the process of stenciling again if you're interested in it. It's kind of fun. I do mine with vinyl, so they are painted on letters. This is the toolbox I'm stenciling. I made this. This I turned on my lathe for the handle. It just gives it that little bit of extra. And just a simple toolbox. This is really cute to stick like mason jars inside of or flower arrangements. It's just a fun thing. But I'm gonna finish this up. I wanna put this stencil, it says farmhouse, on the front of it right here. And I think that'll just add the little extra that I'm looking for, and then it'll get listed on my website. So anyway, to start off, I'm gonna set this out of the way for just a second. And, excuse me, I have been painting in my garage because it's been such a cold winter here. Usually I do all of this in my garage, but it's been happening in my kitchen on the counter. So my kids haven't been able to eat at the counter for like a week. So I need a hard surface for this. So this is my farmhouse stencil. I already cut this out. I have a silhouette that I use to cut my stencils. And I've cut down my vinyl. Then I have this transfer paper. There's some that have grids on it. You can see this one's been used before, and others that don't have grids. I like the clear stuff just because I can see exactly where my stencil is going. So I lay this over top of my stencil, like so. And then I'm gonna get a little tool like this. You can use a credit card or anything with this hard edge, a squeegee. This is from Cricut. I think I just picked it up at Joann's. You can see it's dirty because it's been used a lot. And you sit and you want to rub on your transfer tape. And get it on there pretty good because you want it to stick when your backing comes off. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second here. For those of you who've not done this before. And I've got a hole in this one. It's not the best shape. I probably should stop using this sheet and get a new one, but this just comes on a roll. Okay, so it's on like that, and then I'm gonna kind of pick the backing. It has this white back. Okay, and I just kind of pull it kind of across the material, or whichever way I can do it so it's not sticking and it stays down. Boom, that came off really nicely. Now, put this back over. Okay, and there's my side. I've just got it facing up. I have already marked on here. The hardest part of laying a vinyl is trying to get it positioned just perfectly. So I've got my two little marks about where I want this vinyl piece to go, okay? And I thought I had marked right here, but it seems to have disappeared. Anyway, so I'm laying this down here, and this is what I like about the clear transfer tape, is I can see through to where my placement needs to be. In there. And since I have to position this side and make sure it's straight, which I need my ruler, there it is. You can use a ruler or a tape measure. I do either one, whichever is handy. And I want to make sure that they're the same distance. And I measure to the top of the letters just because you can never be 100% sure that your vinyl is straight. And that looks good right there. So I'm just going to adhere the top. You want to get this vinyl to lay flat without any wrinkles because then it'll go underneath if you do that. Now, I've got that on there. You can see. I'm going to take my little squeegee thing again because I want it now to adhere really well to my little toolbox. Get it all down there. Okay, and then I'm going to start gradually peeling. And this is so far sticking really well. sometimes I have to fight with it, and it's a pain. I make no secret of this just being a pain in the butt. I wanted to try some of those new Chalk Couture. That was not a good say. Chalk Couture stencils. But I can't customize those. So if they have a cute design already, I'm more than okay with using those because they do look super, super easy with what they have. But there's my stencil on there. Now, usually what I would do is go over this with the same paint as I have on here, but I can't remember what color I painted this because I made it a little while ago. So I might not have the same white. So I'm gonna take my chances, and I'm probably gonna distress this anyway because, as you can see, this is a very distressed looking piece. So I'll paint this, and then I'll probably even go over it and sand it just a little bit to fade those letters out because I want it to look old. So I'm not too worried about the lines being super crisp, but I do want them to look nice. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy paper plate, and I'm just going to use acrylic paint on this because I don't need to use a lot. A lot of times I will just use basic like paint you'd use on a wall, like flat paint, if I need to use a lot. But if I want a specific color, like gray, which I don't really want to have a whole quart or gallon of, I will just use acrylic paint, okay? So I'm going to take a dab of this. And what's this color? It says Apple Barrel, which I really like because it doesn't glop up. It's Timeless Gray, if you can see that out of the glare of the sun from my window. Okay, and I'm going to just take, I like these stenciling brushes for this, although you can roll it. I've done that before, but I like to do those when I don't want the bleed. Okay, underneath of my stencil, or I want to be really careful of it because I haven't put a base layer on. These are good because I can come straight down and it makes less of a chance of the paint going under the stencil. Anyway, so you dab it in there, and then I will dab it off so it's not super wet, okay? And then I just start putting it onto the piece I want it on. Okay. See if I can get you closer where you can see what I'm doing here. Sorry. Excuse me. There. Now you can probably see a little bit. Okay. Give me just a second here. I am so sorry. I'm calling in to ask me where my son's soccer game was. So let me get you back up here. Family emergency, you know. My son has a tournament this weekend, and it's down about 45 minutes away, so, okay. So you just keep going, putting the paint down. Like I said, this one doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even care if it's just a really light coat and you can see through it because it kind of adds to that rustic farmhouse effect. And this is just a stencil font, you can see. I just wanted it to be really traditional, excuse my dogs, and like you would see like in a schoolhouse or something like that. Hey, Bella, no. Okay, almost done. Just need a little more paint. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna go back and make sure I've hit all the spots so I don't have any major holes. Okay. Now usually I would wait for this to dry, but again, I'm not too worried about it. Put that out of the way. I'll back you guys up so you can see what I'm doing again. Okay, so I've got it all done. I apologize. And I'm gonna pull this off. Boom. That worked about as well as I could hope for. It's backwards. So just imagine it if it wasn't backwards. But isn't that cute? So I'm gonna wait for this to dry, and then I will sand it off to give it even more of a distressed look. And it'll be a super cute thing to take to my next show. You can use it on your table, coffee tables, all that kind of thing. This will be listed soon for you though. So I will check out now. It's Friday afternoon. That's my husband now trying to reach me on the Alexa. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later.